Hallo Leute, welcome back to Deutschflicks, where German looks easy until the verb moves to the end.
German's logic.
So up to A1 German was all about isolated sentences. Ich arbeite, ich bin müde, ich lerne Deutsch. Short, clear and safe. But A2 is where things change, and from this level on you're expected to connect your ideas. And for that, German uses connectors. So words like because, that, wenn, although, and in German, weil, das, wen, obwohl. So these words don't just connect sentences, they change the word order. So today we are starting the A2 journey with the most important connector of all, weil. Sind Sie bereit? Are you ready? Los geht's. Nebensätze mit weil. So the connector weil means because. And why do we use because? So if someone comes to you asking warum lernen Sie Deutsch? Why are you learning German? Now, in order to answer this, you need weil, and you will answer by saying I am learning German because I want to stay in Germany or work in Germany or study in Germany, right? So basically, whenever you want to answer warum, which means why, and you want to give a reason or a cause, you need weil in German. So I'll just write whatever I said. So we understood weil, but what about this word Nebensätze? Was sind Nebensätze? So Nebensätze means subordinate clauses or dependent clauses. Now, in order to understand dependent clause, we'll take an example. Suppose I say to you, because I am tired. Now, you will not get it until and unless I give you the context. And the context is, I haven't done my homework because I am tired. Now you can see the sentence because I am tired is actually dependent on the main clause, which is I haven't done the homework. So subordinate clauses or dependent clauses, they cannot stand alone. They are actually dependent on the main clause. So that's about Nebensätze. So they depend on the main clause, which is called Hauptsatz in German. Now at A2 level, like I said, you have to get yourself familiar with lot of connectors, and they will be forming Nebensätze. And there is a golden rule which is associated with Nebensatz, which is the conjugated verb goes to the end. Das konjugierte Verb geht ans Ende. So at A2 level, you will realize that what we most of the time do is we keep our conjugated verb at the end. So in English, you say because I am tired, but in German, you end up saying because I tired am. So the conjugated verb goes to the end. So now we'll look at the examples. Ich gehe nach Hause, I'm going home, ich bin müde, I am tired. So now your task is to identify Hauptsatz and Nebensatz. Like which one is Nebensatz? As you all know, Nebensatz means subordinate or dependent clause. So which sentence is dependent on the main clause, Hauptsatz? You can pause the video and I'll show my answer in 5 seconds. So the reason is ich bin müde, I am tired. So this will be my Nebensatz. Like this is the sentence with which you'll use because, and ich gehe nach Hause will be my Hauptsatz. Now what we'll do is we'll connect these two sentences using weil. Ich gehe nach Hause, weil ich bin müde. So now your next task is to identify what is the mistake. Wo ist der Fehler in diesem Satz, in this sentence? So the mistake here is that we have to put the conjugated verb in subordinate clause at the end. So this is my subordinate clause or Nebensatz. This is my conjugated verb which I will put at the end. So the correct sentence will be Ich gehe nach Hause, weil ich müde bin, because I tired am. I know it sounds so strange, but you have to get used to it. So just be cautious that you're putting the conjugated verb from the Nebensatz at the end, and you are not touching the conjugated verb from the main clause, Hauptsatz. Now, what if you want to start your sentence with because? Like you want to say, because I am tired, I'm going home. So that you can also do in German. In that situation, all you have to do is just pick the sentence as it is, weil ich müde bin. Comma. Now, if you're starting your sentence with while, you have to follow the verb comma verb rule. Verb comma verb rule means we have a verb, we have comma, now we need a verb. But which verb do we need? We need the verb from the Hauptsatz. So I'll write gehe here. And who is conjugating this gehen as gehe? It is ich. So I'll write ich. And then remaining part of the sentence will be nach Hause. So the sentence will be weil ich müde bin, gehe ich nach Hause. So that is called verb comma verb rule. So basically you need conjugated verb from the Nebensatz and conjugated verb from the Hauptsatz. Now what I'll do is I'll write this rule on the previous page. Now I'll give you two pair of sentences which you have to connect using while, and you need to write both the possibilities. Okay, so your task is not just to connect these two sentences using while. You have to initially identify what is Hauptsatz and what is my Nebensatz. Like where will you use because. So you can pause the video and we'll discuss this in 5 seconds. Nummer 1. Ich möchte in Deutschland studieren. I would like to study in Germany. Ich lerne Deutsch. I'm learning German. So which one of them is the reason? The reason or the cause is Ich möchte in Deutschland studieren. So this is the sentence with which I'll use because or weil. And my main clause will be Ich lerne Deutsch. I'm learning German. So don't forget to put conjugated verb at the end. Conjugated verb is möchte and not studieren. No, möchte is the conjugated verb. Now I'll start my sentence using while. Weil ich in Deutschland studieren möchte, lerne ich Deutsch. I know this must be super difficult, at least while you're framing this sentence verbally. But trust me, you'll get a hang of it. Now Nummer 2. Kommt heute nicht. He will not come today. Hat die Hausaufgaben nicht gemacht. He has not done the homework. So the reason or the cause, the Nebensatz will be hat die Hausaufgaben nicht gemacht. Weil die Haus of Gaben nicht gemacht hat, kommt heute nicht. If I'm starting my sentence with while. Now, if you followed my A1 series as well, you must be thinking that we have already learnt one word for because, which was den. So, what exactly is the difference between this word den and while? Also, was ist der Unterschied zwischen denn und while? What is the difference between denn and while? Now, in case of this word denn, my conjugated verb doesn't go to the end, it stays the same. So, the way you use because in English, in the similar fashion, you have to use then, and you just have to do the translation. That's it. For example, I'll take this, kommt heute nicht, hat die Hausaufgaben nicht gemacht. Now, if I were to phrase this with the help of den, then what I just have to do is I'll put comma and I'll say den. Kommt heute nicht, denn hat die Hausaufgaben nicht gemacht, because he has not done the homework. So in case of den, your conjugated verb remains at the same position, it doesn't go at the end. But that doesn't mean that you can simply use den to avoid the complexity. No, you have to get used to putting your main verb at the end. So from now on, it would be better for you to use while. You have to level up your German now. So I'll write for den. Also, another difference is that you cannot start your sentence with den the way you start your sentence with while. Now I'm giving you one pair of sentence and you have to connect using while. You have to show me both the possibilities with while and one with den. I cannot come to the party, I have fever. So you also have to translate it in German. We'll discuss this in 5 seconds. So first up with den, ich komme nicht zu der Party, denn ich habe Fieber. So my conjugated verb stays at this same position. Now with weil, ich komme nicht zu der Party, weil ich Fieber habe. My conjugated verb goes to the end. Now if I'm starting my sentence with weil ich Fieber habe, komme ich nicht zu der Party. So multiple ways of saying the same thing. By the way, you can also club zu and der together to form zur. Like you will hardly hear from a German zu der Party. So they always say zur. And you also club zu and dem together to form zum. Now if you need more practice of while or then I have one more exercise for you. Now in this particular exercise, you just have to complete the sentence. For example, Lisa lädt ihre Freunde ein. Lisa invites her friends. Now, why did she invite her friends? Weil sie Geburtstag hat, because she has birthday. So whatever reason comes to your mind, just write it. For example, Nummer 2, sie feiern im Garten. They celebrate in garden. Warum? Why? So whatever reason comes to your mind, you can write it. So in case you want to get it checked from me, you can write these sentences in the comment section and I will correct your sentences. I'll check for any grammatical error. And that's it, your first real Nebensatz in German. And if you master while, half of A2 suddenly feels doable. Like, share and subscribe to Deutschflicks because German is easier when someone explains it properly. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.